It has been an incredible E3 so far, and even though Sony hasn't made their presence felt this E3, there have still been a lot of incredible game announcements. And in today's video, I want to go over 7 new PlayStation 4 JRPGs that have just been announced. Honestly, all of these JRPGs were announced in a variety of different conferences. Some of them were even announced at the Microsoft conference, but nonetheless, all of these games will be coming to the PlayStation 4. And without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's start off with the JRPG that really captivated me the most, and I think it captivated a lot of other gamers, and that is Tales of Arise, the latest game in the Tales of franchise. And Tales of has been around for a very long time. However, it hasn't really resonated with the mainstream gaming audience. It's always filled that niche bubble. It's never really exceeded past beyond that, like say a Final Fantasy, or even say like a Persona has done recently. I would say that Persona 5 is a much bigger game than the recent Tales of games, and we're just talking big based on commercial success, not generally speaking on quality. However, I think Tales of Arise could be that game that really takes Tales of to the next level, because it's really refining the series in terms of presentation, visuals, gameplay, all of those elements. And I too want to take you guys through the overview of the game directly from Bandai Namco. Tales of Arise is the latest chapter in the popular Tales of Japanese role-playing game franchise, with Yusuke Tamazawa, head of the God Eater franchise, at the helm of the Tales of development team. The franchise and its latest chapter promises to deliver new storylines, gameplay dynamics, and worlds for players to explore. On the planet Dana, reverence has always been given to Rena, the planet in the sky, as a land of the righteous and divine. Stories handed down for generations became truth and mass reality for people of Dana. For 300 years, Rena has ruled over Dana, pillaging the planet of its resources and stripping people of their dignity and freedom. The tale begins with 2 people born on different worlds, each looking to change their fate and create a new future, featuring a new cast of characters, updated combat, and classic Tales of gameplay mechanics. Experience the next chapter in the world-famous Tales of series in Tales of Arise. It's also noted that you can experience the next chapter in Tales of brought to life in stunning HD powered by Unreal Engine 4. So I think that's one of the premier elements of Tales of Arise. The issue with Tales of, not necessarily an issue, but a limiting factor of the game, is that visually and presentation-wise, it is really stuck to the same formula, but that is changing with Tales of Arise. Visually, this is on a completely different level, and it looks fantastic. You've also got a dynamic action RPG here, featuring an updated battle system that retains classic Tales of gameplay. Yes, the battle system looks refined as well, but it's still that action-oriented gameplay that we know and love. You've also got a rich story featuring a vibrant world and a new cast of characters, and high-quality animations created by Ufotable. They're a pretty big animation studio, and they've worked on several marquee anime. I believe they're doing the Demon Slayer anime right now, and the thing with all of their anime is that they look incredible from a presentation standpoint, so hopefully that translates over into Tales of Arise. As a longtime Tales of fan, of course, I am very excited for Tales of Arise. This could have just been a regular Tales of game, and I would have been incredibly excited. However, with this game taking Tales of to the next level, my excitement is also taken one notch higher. Next up, Square Enix did announce that Romancing Saga 3 is coming to North America and Europe for the PlayStation 4, and SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions is coming to the PlayStation 4, and both of those were announced at Square Enix's E3 conference. The SaGa games aren't generally known at a high level, much like Tales in the past, but even at a lower level. However, now SaGa comes back to the PlayStation 4, and Romancing Saga 3 is a brand new HD remaster, and it's introducing optimized graphics, new dungeons to explore, new scenarios to experience, and a new Game Plus function. On the other hand, SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions is an enhanced version of SaGa Scarlet Grace, which originally released only in Japan back in 2016. Newcomers and longtime fans of the franchise can shape their own adventure, with one of 4 protagonists featured in the game, each with their own unique storyline, allowing players to enjoy 4 different RPGs in one title. With its first Western release, Ambitions builds upon the original Japanese release with a variety of improvements and additions to the original, including new and improved graphics, character voiceovers, weapons, skills, and much more. In addition to all of that, you'll have access to more than 70 allies to potentially add to their party and test out different battle strategies, with new turn-based timeline systems as they conquer new scenarios, monsters, and bosses on their journey. We don't have an exact release date or release window for these games, but hopefully they come sooner rather than later. Coming out of the Square Enix conference, everybody was excited about the Final Fantasy VII remake. However, also announced was Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, and that's coming to the PlayStation 4 in 2019. Now, Final Fantasy VIII to many is considered to be the black sheep of the Final Fantasy series. However, I had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy VIII. I know it had some gameplay nuances that weren't everybody's favorite, and some of the storytelling elements also not everybody's favorite, but coming in 2019, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered marks the 20th anniversary of its original release with a new visual refresh and brings the game's beloved story to modern platforms. With overhauled visuals, see your favorite characters come to life like never before. The remaster includes renewed character models and the following new system features. You've got battle reinforcement, keeps HP and ATB at maximum, allowing special skills to be activated at any time. You can turn battle encounters off, so if you just want to go through the game and experience the story, or you just want to take a break from the battle encounters, you can do that as well. And you can play the game at triple speed, all scenes advance at 3 times the speed, excluding the movies. Again, I know Final Fantasy VIII isn't everyone's favorite, but it's still a classic Final Fantasy game, and I'm excited to go back and play through it one more time. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered will be dropping sometime in 2019. Next up, we have Trials of Mana, which is a full-on remake of the third game in the Mana series. Trials of Mana is a full high-definition remake of the third entry in the Mana series, previously exclusively released in Japan in 1995. Trials of Mana tells the story of 6 heroes as they battle against the monsters of destruction that threaten a world where mana has been weakened. Players can customize their own party of 3 selected from 6 unique characters to experience different stories. The story is your typical zany JRPG story, but based on the fact that Mana is a pretty iconic franchise, and based on the fact that we never got this game stateside, the fact that we are getting a full-on remake, that is pretty exciting, and it will be hitting the PlayStation 4 in early 2020. Next up, here's one that I'm very excited for. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. That's the first Ni no Kuni title, is getting a remastered version on the PlayStation 4. Now, Ni no Kuni 2 was of course released this year, and it was a very good game. However, I think Ni no Kuni 1 was a step above Ni no Kuni 2. Just from a storytelling and character development standpoint, I just think Ni no Kuni 1 was the best JRPG of last generation. I don't think it's hyperbole at all in saying that. And also, the JRPG competition last generation just wasn't as strong comparatively speaking to this generation, but nonetheless, Ni no Kuni 1 was a great game. And with a remastered version on the PlayStation 4, it features brilliant new visual enhancements, letting PlayStation 4 players enjoy the game at 1080p resolution and with a super smooth frame rate of 60 frames per second. PlayStation 4 Pro users can also offer true 4K resolution at 30 FPS, or you can play at 1440p and 60 frames per second. Originally developed by Level 5, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch's story unfolds through animation storyboard and created by the legendary Studio Ghibli with music composed by award-winning musician Joe Hisaishi. It tells the charming yet tragic story of Oliver, a young boy who embarks on a journey to another world in the hope of bringing back his mother following a tragic incident. With a copy of the Wizard's Companion in hand and his pal Drippy by his side, Oliver must traverse exotic lands to tame familiars, take on malevolent foes, and overcome the countless challenges that stand between him and his mother's salvation. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch's release isn't all too far off. The remastered version is hitting the PlayStation 4 on September 20th. Next up, here's another PlayStation 3 title coming to the PlayStation 4, and that is Disgaea 4 Complete Plus. That is coming to the PS4 this fall, and I imagine that if you're a relative fan of JRPGs, that you've at least tried a Disgaea game at this point. If you haven't been won over, I don't think anything that the Disgaea team could do could win you over, just because they are a little bit of an acquired taste. But nonetheless, Disgaea 4 is now coming to the PlayStation 4, and it touts a bloodless coup, lead the incomparable Valvatraz, a vampire bound by promises, and the ramshackle cast of werewolves, angels, failed final bosses, and more, in a story of love, loss, and presidential politics. You can level up to level 9,999, you know, all the zany Disgaea mechanics are here, and everything to ever grace Disgaea 4 is here, with over 30 unlockable characters to extra story campaigns. Modern enhancements to the Disgaea formula make this experience as deep and smooth as it has ever been. Disgaea is of course a game that you can invest a lot of hours into, so if you're looking for a game that'll keep you busy for quite a while, Disgaea definitely has that going for it. Just do bear in mind it's a little bit dated in terms of visuals. Disgaea has always followed a similar visual style, however, in terms of engaging gameplay, it's got that in spades. We don't have an exact release date at this point, but we do know that the game will feature English and Japanese voiceovers and English and French subtitles, and the game is due out sometime in the fall. And lastly, the classic JRPG-inspired Chris Tales has been announced for the PlayStation 4. This is coming from publisher Modus Games and developers Dreams Uncorporated, and Chris Tales is said to be a love letter to classic JRPGs, coming to a PlayStation 4 in 2020. A demo is already available on PC, so if you want to play it on there, you can do so, but it notes experience past, present, and future simultaneously in a gorgeous indie love letter to classic JRPGs. But it also features a new perspective. Peer into the past, act in the present, and watch as your choices dynamically change the future, all on one screen as you play. Join the newly awakened Time Mage Crispell and her fantastical companions on their journey across a dark fairy tale world facing a grim future. The game's key features note that, of course, it is a love letter to classic JRPGs. You can experience the past, present, and future simultaneously, master strategic turn-based combat, uncover a fascinating story with a variety of different and and unique characters and discover a beautiful world. And I do have to say that the visual style and the presentation style very unique when it comes to Cris Tales. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. It is due out sometime in 2020. I would imagine sometime in the latter portion, but that's just my speculation based on the fact that they didn't note early 2020, and all of these games that are being announced for 2020, either they're announcing it for early 2020 or they're using that blanket statement of 2020, which makes me think it'll either be sometime in the summer or later in the fall, but again, that is just speculation. And that is going to conclude this video. Again, it looks like JRPG offerings are going to be stronger than ever going into the rest of 2019, 2020, and beyond. Outside of this, we've got other incredibly compelling projects like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, everything that Square Enix is prepping up. Tokyo RPG Factory is prepping up a new game as well. That was already announced, so we didn't talk about that, but so much great quality JRPGs coming in the near future, so a lot of reason to be excited. Let us know in the comment section down below what Japanese RPGs are you the most excited for, and sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.